Mic right there. Okay.
Sweet. All right, we're gonna kick it off right at 8, and then
Come on, dude.
after.
You know, what way to get started with a functional energy drink? You know what I mean? For
With
8
some
a.m. I
mushrooms
mean,
in it, hey now.
come on, let's fire it up, right? Does this sound okay? It sounds a little echoey, but I think it's come down a little bit. Testing. Yeah, cool. You're right. Yeah. Let's drive. Let's go. Yeah, fantastic. Cool.
Good morning, everybody. Now presenting Scott Frohman with Odyssey Wellness.
Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. You guys. Cool. All right. Well, first, I'm Scott Frohman. I'm the CEO and founder of Odyssey. I want to say thank you for taking the time to hear, what we got going on. And, with that, let's dive in. So what is Odyssey? Odyssey is a functional energy drink that really specializes on sustainable energy, cognition, focus, clarity, mood boosting, and we use really incredible ingredients that make it taste great and function really great. Today, we launched the company just 3 years ago. In 3 short years, we currently are in all 50 states. We have national distribution. We'll talk about that in a minute. We have 25 incredible employees. We're in 8,500 locations, retail locations today, and we've doubled sales each year over the last 3 years. Our first year in business, we did $2 million in sales. The second year, we did 4.7. Last year, we did $9 million in sales. And this year, we look at a slam dunk of doing a minimum of $15 million in sales, and the numbers could be considerably higher from there. What's taking place right now is there's a big market shift. The market typically has been energy drinks, and a lot of other drinks are moving to more functional beverages. So what you're starting to see happening right now is that people are going to like lesser alcohol. They're looking for alcohol alternatives. People are looking for new sodas. You're seeing what's taking place with that. And today, the global functional beverage is really changing, and it's moving from where $175 billion opportunity is moving to $339 billion. And that's the area that we play as in functional beverage. So we see like companies like Poppi and Olipop that maybe some of you are familiar with. Those are basically modern sodas. They're basically better for you sodas. Well, guess what? Poppi, in just a few short years, just got bought by Pepsi for $2 billion. Olipop just got a $1.85 billion valuation with Morgan Stanley. These companies we're on a very similar type of trajectory as them. And today, consumers are really moving to more modern, better-for-you beverages, and we're really at the forefront with a functional energy beverage. So here's typically how it goes. Typical energy drinks is really the formulation that's been around for the last 25, 30 years. It's caffeine, taurine, normally sucralose, which are artificial sweetener, or sugar, okay, and a lot of times artificial flavors. What happens when you drink a typical energy drink, it spikes you up, crashes you down, and it's kind of like hard to come back from. With Odyssey, what we've been able to do is use high-potency Lions Mane, which is really good for cognition, focus, and clarity, Cordyceps, which are really good for endurance, VO2 max, and also for exercise, and with a little L-theanine. And what it does is it rounds out the caffeine, and it gives you a longer sustainable energy without the crash and the jitters, but you get the cognitive and mood-boosting effect and the whole overall mood-boosting effect. Basically, you get a better overall existence. And we don't use any artificial sweeteners. We use real fruit juice concentrate. So when you drink the drink, not only does the drink function exceptionally well, it tastes exceptionally good. So that's really been, what we are. So we're really looking at an opportunity here to really disrupt what's taking place as the evolution. Because when you look at younger generations, Gen Zs and forward-thinking millennials, right? Guess what? They don't want to drink what mom and dad are drinking. And that's why you see this overall shift that's taking place. Here's our lineup. We have a phenomenal lineup. We spent 3 years dialing in on this lineup. This lineup is absolutely outstanding and winning everywhere we go. We're going to take a look at that in just a minute. So currently to the left, we have ones with lower caffeine. Those have 85 milligrams of caffeine. So we do have used caffeine because people are used to caffeine. It is what it is. That's like a cup of coffee at a diner. Then the ones in the middle to the right, starting with the pink lemonade, the pineapple mango, the strawberry watermelon, those have the 222 milligrams of caffeine, but once again, with no taurine. And then the ones all the way to the right have no caffeine, and those we find are playing really well in the afternoons when people want something to pick themselves up to go to the gym or whatever they're looking to do, or in nightlife, because nightlife is becoming a whole new world of opportunity today with people that don't want to drink as much alcohol. So we built that product with no caffeine. It's great for festival goers, great for nightlife. We put a little magnesium, a little zinc, a little vitamin C, so it also helps with the whole kind of revive. And it's amazing. They taste absolutely phenomenal. Today, Odyssey is the fastest growing energy drink in the natural channel. And we are leading the march. If you look to the right, look at the category. Our dollar sales are completely beating out the entire competition in natural. Now, natural back in the day of energy wasn't as important as it is today. But today, natural is such a big part because COVID expedited a lot more movement because people are much more health conscious today than they were before. What might have taken years to kind of develop has happened a lot faster because of after COVID. Today, a financial snapshot looked like this. Our Q4 of 2024, we did $2 million in sales. Our Q1 of 2025, we just did $2.6 million in sales. And we look at a slam dunk to knock out $3.2 million in sales here in Q2, where we are today. And it's not easing up. As a matter of fact, the trajectory is going to really, and I'm going to show you why. Our margins, we've been able to bring our margins up from 42% to 51%, and those margins are going to come close to 60%, because today we have what's called a digital printed can. We're moving from the digital printed can to a printed can, save ourselves $1.34 a case, and that's going to bring our margins up closer to 60%. Now, across the board, you look at companies like Fresh Time, you look at Infra, National Co-op. These are buying groups that have hundreds and hundreds of stores, and we're completely beating out the competition. E-commerce, today we do over $400,000 a month, basically with no efforts, just in our online business. We've got a great social media presence. We have an incredible in-store sampling program. We have a guy right there in the middle. His name's Sean, who came from Essentia Water. We have an outstanding team, came from Essentia Water. He led the march at Essentia Water. They built that. He did all the events, all the sampling program nationally. They wound up selling that company for over $1 billion to Nestle just in a few short years. We got a great management team. When Monster wound up buying Bang Energy, some of you might know the name Bang Energy. Bang Energy was a company doing 1 billion cans a year. Now, when they sold to Monster, Greg, the CFO of Bang, came on board with us. So Greg came on as our CFO. He was formerly ended off as VP of Finance of Red Bull. So this guy has amazing skill sets. He is a professional. And he brought over Lane, who's the director of supply chain. Lane was doing the 1 billion cans over at Bang. So the same co-packer, one of the same co-packers Bang was using, we're using today. And we have capability to go build up and do 1 billion cans like Bang too, because Lane knows exactly what to do. They brought in systems, ERPs, strategies. We have the reporting tools to do this, and we are doing this. Today, here's our key retailers. You don't get into these stores by accident. The scorecards are out, and these stores know what the sales are at their competitors. Well, we're in South Florida. We're in all the South Florida Targets right now, and we're doing absolutely phenomenal. We're really beating up against majority of all of the competitors right now, doing absolutely phenomenal. We're looking at a really big opportunity to do a national rollout with Target. We just got into Kroger up in Ohio, doing absolutely fantastic. H-E-B, we're in Central Market, which is their natural. It's like the Whole Foods of Texas. Guess what? We're doing so well in Central Market that H-E-B brought us on. They said, listen, you're doing so well here at H-E-B. Minutes later, we need 4-packs. You're like Olipop. You don't even show up here, and we're selling so much product. This is absolutely doing phenomenal, doing fantastic. To Hannaford just opened us up to DSD. So we just wound up opening up the entire New England to a very big DSD. So Wegmans, one of the top selling products at Wegmans. Wherever we go, whether it's Southern Cal, Air One, Pavilions, Lazy Acres, Bristol's, or Northern Cal, okay, it doesn't make a difference. Fresh Time in the Midwest, it doesn't matter. Wherever we go, Our velocities are some of the top selling velocities. Our depletion data is off the chart. The product is well received. People see the product, they take it off the shelves, they buy it, they like it, they come back, they buy it again, they share it with their friends. The retail expansion looks like this. We're virtually in talks with every one of these companies that you see here. Now, coming from all the success that we're having here, I would say we're a pretty good bet to get a lot of these that are here. Some of them, they're already set to go, by the way. And I'm really can't talk about some of it because some of it's confidential, but many of these are coming online as I am right here, right now. And some of them are actually coming online just in the next 60 days, 60, 90 days. So this company and this brand is becoming like a who's who in the marketplace. Key distributors, we have national distribution through UNFI and KeHE. We're in every one of their hubs. That doesn't happen by accident. And now we're opening up significant DSD, and we have the team that knows how to manage DSD. We're in lots of things like, what do you call it, throughout in Lipari, UNFI, every one of their hubs, KeHE, and the list continues to grow. This is very interesting. This happened by accident. All of a sudden, we wound up selling so well in Northern California, up in San Francisco. We started getting inbound calls from like big corporate accounts, the campuses, and they said, we want to try your product. This started a year ago. Well, guess what? From a year ago, Uber is like our second biggest selling account. So what's happening is inside, they have a lot of other energy drinks, but guess what? The employees, these Gen Zs and forward-thinking millennials at these companies, they're not drinking the old school energy drinks. They're drinking Odyssey. And now Odyssey is in Meta, Uber, Amazon, ESPN, NVIDIA. We just got into Google in Denver and Austin, okay? I mean, it's just Morgan Stanley. I had somebody from UBS told me the other day that we're all in all these UBSs as well. So this is a real true testament that this product is working so well, because when people go to work, they don't want to be wired out. They want to be able to function. Younger generations people, they want to get ahead. They want to think better. They want an edge. They want to be ahead. And the drink also works great when you go to work out. And those are the two places where people use an energy drink. They want to get to work. They want to get fired up. They want to get focused. They want to get going. Or it's when they go work out. And the drink works exceptionally well in both environments. Colleges, universities, normally dominated by Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Guess what? It turns out that these college and universities, like, we have to have your product. We put the product into Cornell. We don't even have really much activity up there. We go up to Cornell, we start bringing the product out, and everyone's like going, it was an epidemic. And they were like all about the drink. Why were they all about the drink? They go, we all know about the drink. How do you know about the drink? They go, we know about the drink because the underground people are talking about this product and they know about this product. So it's really going exceptionally well. We're in a lot of these colleges. We're in a lot more colleges, and it's selling exceptionally through. Here's the view, the world that we look at. We look at Celsius and say $10 billion. Well, guess what? Celsius is just a $100 stock. It's not a $100 stock today, but guess what? They're seeing some of the headwinds. They just went and bought Alani Nu. They were seeing the headwinds of some of the bigger players from back in the day with the old formulations. And it's making paths now for companies like us. Look what happened with Poppy, $2 billion buyout. They did the same program as us. They started in natural. They won in natural, built a reputation in natural. That opened them up into grocery. That's happening with us. We're one of the top selling things in natural, and we're building our natural to a whole lot more, by the way, because we only have 40% ACV in natural. We're gonna be bringing that ACV up into 80, 90%. So natural is already like on fire. That I forgot to mention that earlier. So then they go natural, you go into grocery. Well, guess what? We're already starting to go into grocery. We're already in HEB. We're in Meijer. We're in Kroger. Kroger loves the product, and now Kroger just opening us up to their banners and a lot more Kroger properties. Very, very exciting. So we're a very similar type of nature as to how Olipop and Poppy have moved the ball. Monster, $57 billion valuation. C4, $2.9 billion valuation. It's a very exciting space. And in the next 3 years, next 5 years, and this isn't like something that we're gonna have to go wait out 5, 10 years. This is going on today. If you don't think that the younger people are looking for better for you alternative beverages right now that makes them smarter, think better, feel better, function better, this is what's going on. People are more sensitive to the stimulants. People are eating cleaner. They're exercising more. And that's where we wind up playing. And they want the better for you ingredients. Today we have a cap table. We've raised over $20 million in this company to date. We have an amazing list of investors, incredible people, just awesome people. We have roughly 20 million shares fully diluted. And, it's relatively a tight cap table. So we have a lot of investors that are very interested in this company. We have a lot of new investors that are very interested in this company. And, where we stand today is if there's an interest, I'm going to open up the questions, but if there is any interest in talking about the opportunities to be involved in Odyssey, we're at booth 706, and I have a full cooler of drinks, by the way. So if you want to try any of the drinks or you need a drink as you go, I encourage you to come by, drinks on us. But yeah, we have an amazing opportunity. We got a great team. The market is in our favor. We got wind behind our back. We're the first ones to really come out to do this. I saw the opportunity, and it's just really exciting. So thank you very much for your time. I'll open it up to questions. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yep, go ahead. Yeah, they are. Today, all of our drinks are carbonated. I think that, the majority that plays in the space are carbonated, and in the future, we could also look at a non-carbonated one as well. Sure. No, they're pretty close. The top calories that we have is 35 calories. We also sweeten with monk fruit as well, and we use high concentrated. By the way, we use high concentrated Lions Mane and Cordyceps. So, we're able to extract out all the fiber, so you don't really taste any of that. We just use the potency that gives you the effect. But we also use very highly concentrated, flavors. So the flavors are really be able to be potent without having to have all the sugar. So like this dragon fruit lemonade has, 20 calories. It's got 2 grams of sugar. This one is a pineapple mango. This one's going to have the higher because the mango carries a lot more on the calories. This one is the top one, 35 calories and roughly 6 grams of sugar. Sometimes we see something like blackberry where all of a sudden you get a spike because we use real blackberry, you know what I mean? But by and large, our pricing has been phenomenal. And Lane has just been an amazing job negotiating. We're doing bigger production runs now, so our yields are really coming up. So, we're netting out just, so much more. And we're in really great communication and conversations because they see in the spike. Like when we told them what sales we were going to do, we did that and more. So we're not, we're really getting a very warm, they're working very closely with us. But there is sometimes some minor seasonality, but it's not really making any real difference. Yes, we're MSRP at $329. However, we see a lot of natural stores out there at $399, and we do see a lot of you see things at Target. You're going to see that. And, also there's a lot of opportunity for us in club that's coming up. I didn't really mention that, but we already have club opportunities that are going to start to roll. So getting those margins up to 60% and then a little bit of club business would bring us back down to, let's say, 55%. But, we're still going to be in a really good place. Unfortunately, we have a big lion's share of our business outside of club, but club can definitely help us increase the volumes and also can help us to increase, give us some more strength on purchasing too. The marketing, this business has been so much more about having inventory. We've done these raises because we need the inventory, and we have not really put a large percentage of our revenue to the marketing. But now we have a lot of influencers that are coming out of Poppy, for example, that got in early, and they're like, look, we love beverage and we love what you have because we see this as the evolution, like Poppy and Olipop, the evolution of modern soda, you're this modern energy. So now we're definitely looking to see about, putting more money into the marketing, working with these influencers. Because today, we're like an amazing spec house. It's absolutely magnificent. Now we need to also incorporate more around getting it more popular. But the word of mouth marketing has really worked for us. And we've really been using the marketing and sampling. Because when we sample, it's like an epidemic. We go through so many, even like Target, they're like, oh my God, like you go through so many cans when you sample. Like we don't see people selling so many cans when you sample. So we put marketing into things that give it a conversion. We put marketing into Amazon to build more sales. We have 6,000 subscribers today, and it continues to grow. We put marketing towards the sampling, and now we're going to do definitely more on the awareness around the influencers and stuff like that. And TikTok, I think TikTok's going to be a big thing for us, honestly. Yeah. The cost structure of the production of a can. Oh, from the factory cost. So right now, if basically we sell the cans for somewhere around $1.85 on average a can, and right now it's costing us with the new, what do you call it, the printed cans that we're moving to, we're going to be down to around 75 cents a can, and that's going to help bring that margin from the 50, 52, which we're at right now, up to the 60. Yep. You know, I think that. Look, I really like if interesting enough, if the right partner came around to say, hey, you know, we like the private thing and we like to really align with you and, you know, on the funding and let's keep it private and let's really, you know, build this thing a lot bigger and not look at the public piece, you know what I mean? You know, that could be interesting and we have, you know, a lot of interest there. But for us, we see us going the distance because a lot of those groups also are like, hey, let's go build it, let's sell it, you know, and we for the right opportunity, if somebody came to us with the right multiple and it took all the risk out of the picture, you know, I've sold other companies too. I have a very good background. I've done very well. I got a lot of money invested into this too, by the way. You know, hey, the market looked like we should take it. You know, that could be interesting. But we see this is the future. We'd rather see it be public. We'd rather see having the multiple. We would rather see having the valuation. We'd rather see us having the access to the capital and, you know, and then offer our shareholders the opportunity to, you know, potentially have those kinds of liquidity events along the way and go the distance because, you know, we think that what the future is going to look like as what Monster did over the years, what Celsius did over the years, you know, we're things happen a lot faster today, and we're a much faster fast track to this level of business than it took like back in the day of Celsius to get to where we are today. So, you know, right now we like the public piece. We like the public piece a lot. We signed with Roth Capital, by the way. We have engagement with them on a proposed IPO, and you know that you know we built up you know to look at what an S1 is going to look like, and you know, and talks with you know to get the audit done. So we like the public piece. The public piece is the direction that we're looking to go. We think we can move this thing from $1 million a month to, you know, we're like $1 million to a month right now, but it's really fast tracking up, as you can see. You know, we're not just getting to $2 million a month. This is like going from like $1 million to like $4 million a month. And, you know, we really see what it takes to get from that 4, you know, to a $100 million run rate. You know, and that's what happens when you start getting into those bigger retailers and you start creating that buzz and awareness. You know, we've seen it happen with C4. You know, they're doing $400-500 million a year. You see it happen with Ghost. It just got bought by Anheuser-Busch. You know, you see it happen with Olipop and Poppy. They're both doing $400-500 million a year. They're just a few years older than us. So we saw it happen with Bang, and I got a whole team of people that worked at Bang. You know, they see what are the triggers, what are the moves we got to make. So we like the public deal. I mean, go build this thing into the hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, if not $1 billion in sales. You know, the multiples you get as a public company in this space is very exciting. So we do like that. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I know. Yep. Yeah. Sure. So Lions Mane's been around for thousands of years. Came, you know, it was a big thing in Asia. Okay, and then what happened was in the last 40 years, Lions Mane's become much more popular here in the United States, and really in the last 10 years, become even a whole lot more popular. And what's happening is, I'll tell you, most people, you'd be surprised. Like, how many people know Lions Mane? Give me a show of hands. Okay, good. So we got a bunch of people that are familiar with Lions Mane, but you'd be surprised. Like, you know, today we're selling this as a lifestyle product that's going to give you the kind of like, you know, clarity, focus, you know, and stuff like that. But the Lions Mane, the reason why we got it front and center on the bottom of the can is because the pioneer people who know about Lions Mane, it's an epidemic because people who know that it works really well, and the reason why it's become so popular is because Lions Mane, it's good for focus and clarity. We all want to, we have a lot of distractions in the world today, and we all want to get more clear. So the Lions Mane is really great for that. But, that's why we leaned in on the Lions Mane. Last question, because we only got a minute left. We outsource everything. We got a huge co-packer. We got great relations with them. Yep. Yeah, and we got a big 3PL in Kansas City, and that's great shipping lanes when we move out of there. Go ahead. Oh, I really don't kind of like put it out there because, trying to keep certain things confidential to our, competitors and stuff like that. But I'll tell you, the mushroom manufacturer, the cultivator, is invested in and wrote a real check, not like this product, because they were like, we love what you're doing. No. We have not seen any issues at this point, okay? And whatever issues that we're seeing as potentials, they're so minor. Like, everything is mostly sourced here. So we're not really seeing like really any issues there, And what minor pennies have come up like on certain things, it's been so offset by the moves that we've been able to make. We're still getting ahead. Yeah. Good question, though. Anybody else? Did you have another question? I'm sorry about that before. Anybody else? Yeah. Yes. Right now we're selling in, if you go to Aruba, you'll see us all over the place. We're in Mexico. We're in a lot of Central South America. Well, kind of like throughout the Bahamas. We actually, Walmart in Puerto Rico is just doing phenomenal with the product. They actually contacted us direct. They go, look, we got people want the product here in Puerto Rico. We want to bring it into Walmart, Puerto Rico. So I think there's a huge opportunity. We're seeing a lot of opportunity in the UK. The mushrooms are very big in the UK too, by the way. I mean, they got mushroom beers now and stuff like that. So, there's a whole new movement to NA, to, better for you ingredients, and just people just want this better existence. And I don't think it's just taking place in the United States. But, we were selling a lot in Canada for a minute. I mean, almost too much, because then they wanted us to change the labels. And we're really laser focused on the United States, because you know what? There's so much market here for us. This is where we are. This is where we got to go win. You look at HB, Kroger, Costco, Sam's Club. You look at Target. The online, the TikTok opportunities. Like today, it's really like with the right partners and distributor partners, like we have in the Caribbean and South, and throughout the Bahamas. We go and run with that. But right now, when we get this so locked down, you know what I mean? Then we'll clearly look. Norwegian states are countries I think those are going to be fantastic for us. You know what I mean? Anybody else? Great. Well, listen, I'm at booth 706. We got the drinks there, and if you're just not interested and you just want to pick me up, come on by. But if you have interest in talking to me further about it, I could talk more confidentially about other things, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everybody. Appreciate it. Cool.